Welcome to the Anime Enthusiast Podcast. I am the hostess with the most, Zack, and joining me as always, we got Mason.
Hello.
Renan.
Hi.
And a new face to the group. Introduce yourself right now.
What's up? I'm Justin.
Alrighty.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
I'm glad to have you, Justin. So, today's topic of anime. Well, of course, we talk about anime all the time, but specifically, how has your anime taste and preferences changed over the years from when you first got into it to now? We kind of covered this on our last episode where we started off with like our first anime that we kind of got into. Justin, would you like a quick catch up on that and tell us the first anime you watched and tell us about it?
Well, I come from a household that just did not know what anime was. It was probably just the style that was on Sonic the Hedgehog or Ninja Turtles on like 4Kids. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, yeah.
But it was
Saturday morning.
Sonic
yeah.
X and Mega Man Battle Network.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's where it was. But I didn't even know what anime was. I just thought like, oh, this is a cool style. It looks like a comic book a little bit. But then my friend who was like, I guess like a weeb at the time. No, not really like that. Like, oh, like, ooh, like it wasn't like that. It was his family. I don't know, like they're religious, but it's like they were like religiously, they have DVDs of just every Dragon Ball Z disc set when things like just weren't streamable. They just had it all on the shelf, and they had Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach. His dad was really into Bleach, but because I was new to this whole thing, I know it's technically not called an anime, but the first actual anime type genre show that I watched was Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I kind of pride myself on being that was like the first somewhat anime genre show that I watched, and because it is such a great show, I feel like I was spoiled right off the bat. And this dude was so exclusive. I called him a hipster, and he's like, I'm not a hipster. I'm not into coffee and like short jeans. And I was like, no, you want to be the guy that introduced me to anime. And so it's like, I can only watch it with him. I can't watch it on my own. It has to be from like him. Like he's the source. He's watched it. And I'm like the new person coming to his house and his big old couch, just like, I'm ready to watch it. So,
is it still like that?
Oh, well, like with like COVID and everything, and he's off doing his own thing. His family still does this. They don't watch, like they can't watch certain anime episodes. Doesn't matter what it is. If like a new Dragon Ball Z, they literally can't watch the next episode with like, all of the family members have to be there for this one. So back to my experience, it was having to go to their house and watch that. It was so weird because he was my best friend. His dad and my dad actually worked together at the same place. They actually had a conversation like, are you fine with your son watching anime? I don't care, as long as it's not that like weird stuff. He's like, well, what's weird? I don't know.
Totally knew.
The reason why we don't watch anime in my house, that reason. He was like, oh, okay. Which that was just, undisclosed. There was no reason. He was just like, oh yeah, anime is a little bit weird.
Something tells me that your dad has only seen the weird animes.
I think he's seen like what a weeb looks like, and he's just like, no, you're a freak. It's just all anime people are like this.
I was going to say the four people at this table.
Sits
Maybe
uncomfortably.
diverge.
Yeah, you're not wrong as I slowly fade out my volume.
And thank you for coming to this week's podcast.
Right. After I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it took so long to get through. I was in the early 2000s and had like access to Nickelodeon, and I had to wait till the next week, the next time I went to and spend the night at his house to binge a couple episodes of Avatar. And I loved it, but it took forever to get through season like Fire, and I had to like rewatch it like in like the late years because there was so much. I like, what? There's even some episodes where we were watching it 1-2 in the morning, and I'd fall asleep. I'm like, I don't remember this episode. When is Aang just trapped in the spirit world with this giant panda bear thing? When was I asleep during this?
It's like a plot point I wouldn't miss.
It's like, what? Yeah.
What's your anime look like now?
Now, okay,
Yeah.
So I'm just notoriously terrible with keeping up with shows. They're like, oh, have you watched? I actually really liked the beginning of One Piece, and then somehow someone told me, yeah, it's like they're still making episodes. I'm like, this series came out in like
That show
99.
has been going on 2
Yes.
months younger than I am. I'm 24.
Right.
It's on its final arc now in the manga, so it's like 2 arcs away.
I actually picked up manga. I think it was one where like Django, to do with the hypno disc and stuff, was like just beating the crap out of Luffy.
Oh, back with the cat pirates. Oh, what are they called?
It was Foxy.
No. Django the hypnotist from Kuro, the black the butler that turned out to be the pirate captain.
Oh, the guy that like moved his glasses up with his palm so he doesn't stab himself in the face every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Usopp.
That was when I started watching on my own, and then someone told me this is like a couple years later. I started watching anime for myself, and I was like, oh, I have a subscription. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like
You're strong,
Netflix at the time.
independent anime watcher.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm watching it on myself.
We are so proud of you. So proud of
It's a
you.
choice I made, and I'm
so brave.
I really liked One Piece, like the whole like I think it maybe the first season, or I don't even know how long the season is, but it was the one where they fight the shark people and the shark, and they were like so OP. They're just whipping Nami and everyone around, and then somehow Luffy always ends up on top.
I know what show it was.
I know. One Piece.
Yes,
I
and
meant
so
Arlong.
Yeah, for those of you who are having trouble following, it is still One Piece.
still One Piece.
The
One
amount
Piece.
of sharks, pun intended, this show jumps like they go to the sky, they go underwater, they have like a rocket ship at one point in their ship.
They fight the undead. Then they go back underwater.
So I have a confession. I've never watched One Piece.
It's a pirate show.
It's a pirate show. I would have never thought it was a pirate show, to be honest.
Yeah.
I honestly thought One Piece was like a big Buster Sword main character type show.
It's a rubber boy named Monkey D. Luffy. What does the D stand for? No one fucking knows after 24 goddamn years.
Nobody is upset. And there are multiple people with the middle initial D. There's
Initial D?
initial.
Transfigured D Law. Like, apparently D is like destruction of the, like, prophesized to be like the end of the fucking government or some fucking shit. It is a wild lore show. Like, it is, because it's got 24 years of fucking story.
Over 900 episodes.
Yeah.
And where are you in that? 900?
After the shark people is I was telling someone about it. They're like, oh yeah, I like One Piece. It's still going on. And then they're telling me how many episodes and how many seasons there are. And I'm just like, there's so much anime to watch out there. Like it was almost a turn off. I was like, this show is still going. It's like, there's still like, I really like One Piece. Like I liked it, but I don't really like want to watch the rest of it, at least right now.
Yeah,
I want to
no,
be like more settled down where I'm just like, okay, I'm ready to binge this for however long so I could actually be caught up. I feel the same way about Dragon Ball Z. There's like hardcore Dragon Ball Z fans that are just like, oh, it's the best, it's the best. And I'm just like, that's been going on for such a long time. And I started here. I'm here. Like I've been all the way caught up and present with like My Hero Academia. Like that's a show that I really like, even though that's I think the biggest anime that's come forth. Not really of all shonen stuff, but like I feel like it's like, oh, like you watch My Hero Academia, you're into like trendy things. I'm just like, no, like I really like Kirishima and all the extra characters that go on.
No, I know the terminology. It's called a shonen anime.
Yes. Yeah, and I've watched a few others, but that's kind of what I'm on now. I'm trying to finish Reborn, which is an anime about Italian mafia.
Yep.
In Japan.
Hitman Reborn.
You've seen it? Oh my gosh, not enough people know about this show.
I've probably watched that show 3 times through.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'm still getting through my first time.
The only thing I don't like is the show never finished, and that's a lot of problems with animes. If it doesn't
Okay,
make
don't
enough,
tell me that.
it doesn't make enough money, the manga will still continue, but the anime sometimes won't make it all the way through.
Oh, okay.
Where it ends is a good point, but there's more that I, as somebody who doesn't always read the manga, want a visualization of.
Yeah,
Right.
and the monetization is based off the Japanese demographic. That they really
They don't give a shit about anywhere else.
yeah. If it doesn't do well in Japan, you're not getting a second season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because there are quite a few shows that they're like, oh yeah, you only get the one season because Japan that's the only cool, like it was the only thing that they did. But like look at Latin America, South America, America, and India. India has a very huge population of anime watchers, and like these are huge demographics. Like either one of these demographics is by far larger than the Japanese one. Yeah. But like even still, they're like, I don't give a shit.
Well, technically, it's not made for them. It's made in Japanese for the Japanese population.
It's true.
Yeah.
Apparently, Russia's big into anime.
Yeah, I mean,
Not just for the memes.
Yeah, not just for the memes.
Oh.
They're legitimately in it to win it with anime.
Yeah.
I wonder what they watch.
Sword Art Online.
well, it's funny. Like, there was I think we talked about it a little bit like before the podcast last time, but like the Japanese anime subreddit was having a feud over King of the Hill.
Oh, I did hear about this. I don't remember why, but I remember King of the Hill is like a topic of argument in Japan, and for some reason they love that show.
Well, okay, so what was the argument, Mason?
They were arguing whether the Japanese sub or dub of the show was better. So it would be
like how we do.
Yeah. But like, so
but for King of the Hill.
King of the Hill. So they're like, well, it'd be like, Bobby, I'll sell propane and propane accessories. Instead of it would be like Bobby-san or
Bobby.
Bobby don't know. Bobby don't know. None desu ka.
わからのプロペンとプロペンアクセサリーを買って。
How do you say "Don't touch my purse"? I don't know you in Japanese. I don't know you.
パスはするな。
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Japanese dub.
But like, there's also a dub that is like, there are like parts of it that does like the Japanglish.
Oh,
the English.
Yeah, the English. Where the Japanese person speaks the English.
The JoJo. Oh my god.
Oh no.
How do they translate Boomhauer like they do with the white hair? That's just like Texas gibberish.
I would assume he speaks more like country, like a farm or a rural area,
Like a Kansai dialect or something else?
almost like Kansai.
Yeah.
I would even go as far to say
Like a drunk Kansai.
a drunk Osaka or Hokkaido dialect, something like that. Because if you watch like Food Wars, Megumi's accent, think of that. Do you watch Food Wars, Justin?
No, I have a thing about watching shows about food. It makes me hungrier, and I need to like be eating something while.
Yeah.
That's one reason I also haven't finished One Piece is because Sanji, the way he cooks fish, makes me like, damn it, I want sushi now. I want to go, and sushi's freaking expensive.
Yeah. Especially during COVID.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can grab some food while you watch it.
Yes, but it has to be like the same thing. It's like I can't watch Guy Fieri either because it's just like he can't. He doesn't have any very good descriptors. He's like, oh man, like this, the cheese, and then the melt. It's just excellent. I'm just like, you're not describing anything.
See, and if you watch Food Wars, you will only get descriptions.
Yeah.
Ooh, the umami and the sweet have mixed together to make a tongue. I'm back on the farmhouse, and then their clothes will explode into chickens.
Yeah. Oh my God! Because he studied the layers of gastronomy, he was able to fuse the atoms of the food together and create such a burst of flavor.
Show already.
What were you saying, Mason?
The way that they describe the deliciousness of things, instead of people just like, oh my god, it's so good, oh this is so delicious, and yada yada yada. Being an anime and manga, they capitalize on the visualization of it. Mm-hmm. So like clothes will explode and you don't see anything. Well, you do see something, not some that's not censored.
It's censored.
It's censored. It's censored. It's very tastefully censored.
There's suddenly a gleam of light blocking your view.
Yeah.
Is that just the American version?
That's all versions.
It's all versions.
There's no version like that.
Yeah, we'll talk about other anime
That's a different
on our
right?
different podcast.
Oh, okay. Anime at night.
Anime at night.
Anime after dark.
Yeah, it doesn't have the American censorship like where Sanji in the Japanese version smokes a cigarette, but in the American version he eats a lollipop. In Food Wars, they take off the clothes, but then there's the tasteful light that blocks anything that is considered erotic in nature. So they just try to make sure that doesn't happen.
Or 20 plus.
Yeah, and then they'll have whatever they were describing in their head that made them think about this, like example for Megami, because we were talking about her earlier. Like that one time they called her the food spirit, or everybody has a different descriptor for this one dish that she makes. Bunch of tiny little Megamines just running around inside the background, and they're like, oh well, now you see what they see. So it's a pretty cool thing. It literally, the entire show ended. It's fourth season. It's completely done. Fifth. Oh yeah, fifth plate. It just completely ended.
Yeah, the seasons are counted in plates.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Courses.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, and also touching upon your first show being Avatar, it was designed to be modeled after an anime. The guy who did it was like, this is going to be as close to an anime that a fucking American could fucking make. That's a very good gateway drug show for anime, I guess.
Anime is a drug, man.
Anime is a drug. Just a side note, and it makes me very sad that the original creators from Avatar won't be doing the live action. They literally left it because they said Netflix sucks so much they don't want to work on it.
Because they want to age up the characters and have them have sex. They want them to be like, oh, you're 18, Qatar, you're fucking Zuko now.
What? That's not what happens.
Exactly.
That's not how Tenzin becomes.
You are not the Tenzin I know.
Yeah.
Okay, now we already know what the rest of the segment is going to be. I don't ship Zutara at all. I'm sorry. I sit on this side of the table.
I sit on the canon side of this house.
We are on
Yes.
the canon side.
Oh, we are? Okay,
yeah.
good.
Zach doesn't care.
Even though
Look at Angtara is better. We just can go with that.
What about Ong
I thought it was
Tara?
always Katang, like Katara, like Katang, like
That works. That works for me too. Continue.
Katang. Really quick, we're gonna take a short break. So this is your time as the listener to grab a drink, grab a snack, use the restroom, whatever you need to do. We're gonna be taking a short break. We'll see you in a bit.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed some water. We were just now finished talking with Justin to get to know him a little bit better, and now we're going to get into the meat of today's topic. Zach, why don't you start us off today?
All right, so I got some potatoes for you guys. I think me personally, I started anime right. Toonami. Toonami is a big one. But what was the main source of Toonami's show run? It was Shonen. It was Shonen. Maybe they'll sprinkle in a couple of other things. And I don't think it was until I got to college, right? Because we're talking about how anime has influenced us as we've gotten older. And I'm going to talk about one show that I think was the first time I really teared up over a show. Your Lie in April.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
And Justin, I don't know if you know, Your Lie in April is a musical anime.
oh my gosh.
It focuses on a young high school student who was a piano prodigy as a young child. His mother fell ill and he lost his ability to play the piano. And he meets a young girl who's a young and upcoming violinist. And it's their relationship and his relationship with music and his mother. The last 3 episodes, I think my roommates were concerned for me because I was in tears at the last 3. I was like, why is this doing it to me?
Yeah, I'm not gonna front. I 100% cried watching that anime.
I as well. I was also angry.
There was a lot of emotions
There
flying.
was the full spectrum of emotion.
So many. And because I remember the upsurge of Your Lie in April and how everybody in the anime community was just like, yo, have you seen this?
Our friend Colin could not go 2 minutes without talking about the show or playing the music. Granted, the intro to the show is one of the best of all time, in my opinion, but the man could not stop talking about it. And then he watched the final episode before us, and then he's like, we're done talking about this fucking show.
Yeah, I think so. It was this gradual transition of I'd never seen or cared to look at a slice of life because I consider that a slice of life, right?
Yeah, it's a slice of life.
Slice of life.
Slice of life.
I mean, the only other one was Golden Time, and I think I only got through the first. Yeah, trust me, that show is ridiculous in and of itself.
Golden Time.
You know Golden Time?
No.
Okay.
It sounds like a James Bond movie, but I know it's probably not that.
No, it's this dude with amnesia meets this girl, and this girl likes his new friend he just met in college, and it's their weird wacky antics together. That's where you start getting the love triangles and I only got through the first half of that. I actually went back and watched it recently.
That was it.
7 out of 10. I don't know. I really liked it. The ending was kind of cheesy, but whatever. Yeah. But I've gone now and I really love slice of life anime. There's an emotional reaction that I kind of didn't realize as a kid. I mean, even like in Naruto Shippuden, the Death of Jiraiya. Spoiler alert. Y'all should have seen this by now. This is 10 years later.
What's Naruto?
Naruto.
I really have to agree with what Zach is saying. Just seeing that first different anime and getting you into a different genre can be that changing to what you're into. For me, how I got into slice of life anime is I watched Boku no Inai Machi, which is Erased.
Oh my god!
I couldn't sit still in that show. I think I watched half the first season and I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah. Do you know about Erased, Justin?
No.
Okay. So
Buckle the fuck up.
This is going to be fun. Justin's going to be writing these down.
Yeah.
So this anime right here, yeah, feel free to write this down. It's called...
Take notes.
So this anime is about a guy who has his memory taken away from him.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker.
They've been erased. Roll credits.
And you basically get to see this whole guy's life from the perspective of people who have been a part of a murder conspiracy. And the entire time he's trying to figure out a way to save the victim or figure it out and punish the person who did it.
Is he voiced by Matt Damon? It sounds a lot like the Jason Bourne Chronicles.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
You forgot the added supernatural effect.
Yeah, there's supernatural stuff. I'm also like kind of blanking out on it.
Doesn't he also take control of his past child's self with adult memories?
Yes.
Yeah, he has the power of he calls it rewind, I think.
Yeah, it's rewind. He can effectively time travel? Question mark.
I'm actually intrigued now.
You should watch it.
Erased.
Have you ever played
Erased.
Ocarina of Time?
Yes.
So you know how like if doing something as a child will affect how things affect the adult. So like you plant a seed, it'll grow a tree. He's trying to do that, but with murder, like trying to stop murder. All right, I found this one evidence. Now I could jump back over here and figure out, like, did you do this? Remember this as a child? I don't remember shit because I was 5.
Is it anything like the A&E Flash series where he's just like, oh no, this season I messed something up, I'm going to go back and change it? Not that I keep up with that show, but it just seems like that's what it is now.
It's not. It's really him as an adult has perceived this whole timeline already, and then he is in a coma and then goes back in time somehow, and it's like, oh wait, yeah, that's the person who was murdered. Oh wait, I know that person. Oh wait, I'm very close with this person now, and they gradually go get closer and closer, and then he figures out a way to save the person.
Oh, so
yeah, and I don't want to say too much because it's a roller coaster. But once everything comes to fruition, you're just like, what?
It's really good. The murder show.
Is there any moment where he just like he doesn't see this as his own identity? He's just like, what am I watching? And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm a detective that travels through time, and then is trying to figure out my own past. Or does he like
not per se?
Not
but like,
per se. He's like a normal dude.
He's a pizza delivery guy, frankly.
Oh,
Yeah, he's not a detective, but he's trying to be he's trying to solve the mystery of his childhood, which has somehow affected his adult life.
Yeah.
And in the first episode, it kind of the like how it's affecting his life happens, and then he gets shot back to the past, and then he has to figure out what he repressed as a kid because something happened in his past.
We're all talking around certain topics because we really, if you do want to watch this, we really want you to experience it naturally.
Doesn't it also have a live action?
Yes,
It's like
it's got
decent?
a live action.
it has a live action. Yeah.
is it made by Netflix?
No.
I don't know.
God, no.
I don't know. But I've seen it.
Is it?
I like the live action.
Is it like a good live action?
I liked it.
There's like Kamiya-sama, that live action. Kaguya-sama, Love is War. That one, like I couldn't. The president. I just couldn't deal with him. And then there was the whole prison school thing, which is fucking. What the fuck.
And then there was the Attack on Titan live action, which is like, what are you even thinking?
I thought that was a live show that they did.
No, it was like a movie. It was like 3 movies they did.
There's 3 movies?
They did a Full Metal
There's
Alchemist live action.
Yeah. And those are much better than the Attack on Titan live actions. Basically, there was just like 3 movies that were supposed to follow the canon storyline, but it didn't. For some reason, Mikasa's character was in love with the Levi character representative. All these characters were vaguely represented in this story, and it just was not what any of the fans were looking forward to.
Can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change a few things. Store brand fucking.
So can you guys think of any like anime specifically that influenced your taste in genre, Mason or Justin?
Well, obviously, much like Zack, Naruto and like the Search of Emotions of certain episodes of that have happened. I grew up watching a lot of like comic book shows, so like X-Men and like Batman Beyond. I still love Batman Beyond. But like that got me into anime. So like then Toonami showed up, and then Naruto, and then Bleach, and then would watch Inuyasha and Sailor Moon with my sister, but I don't think like I have like a vivid memory until of watching anime until like, as we talked about last week, Devil May Cry. That one got me like, oh wow, this can be like visually stunning. But like for some reason, the only show I can think of off the top of my head that like elicited a very, very strong reaction other than Familiar Zero, because we talked about that, was Toradora. Palm Top.
And what is Toradora?
Toradora is a slice of life, sort of, kind of rom-com.
Slice of life.
Slice of life rom-com. And the main character, the main male and female character, are trying to hook up they're best friends with the other person. Like, hey, the girl's in love with the main guy's character's best friend, and the main male character is in love with the female lead's best friend, and like it's just like they're trying to constantly set each other up, and nothing ever works, and then this bond deepens and grows. Some wacky scenarios, like she's a tiny, like feisty little tsundere, but like I don't know, like the amount of emotions that has drawn from that show. I was like, okay, now I need to kind of watch slice of life animes when I'm like any kind of mood. Like there are different episodes for like happy moods, sad moods. I just want to fucking cry. And then like I have a list of shows and specific episodes and parts like saved on my computer somewhere, or I just memorized it. Like, all right, if I need to cry, I just watch this episode at this point for that and that and that. And a lot of those come from the slice of life shows, actually. So like it's a very, I don't want to say like underrepresented. People don't realize like, oh, it's a slice of life show. Like whatever. It's like fucking like Orin High or some shit like that. Like not Orin, like
Around High School Host Club.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that people, I want to say, brush off is like the better way of saying it, because like I was like, okay, it's a slice of life show. Like it's just this dude living his life, but like I didn't realize the amount of emotions that would connect to me on a very deep level, because it's the medium that could connect to me easier than like, oh, you're a fucking ninja, you're gonna fucking destroy demons or like slice people up with swords and stuff like that. Like, okay, that's cool, I can fantasize about that, but I don't emotionally and physically connect to it as much as a slice of life show.
Yeah. Justin, have you had any experience with slice of life animes?
Yes. I don't know if it super counts. It doesn't matter if it's like a show or like a movie.
Yeah.
There is actually something that came out recently on Netflix. I didn't even know about it. My girlfriend wanted to watch it, and it's something like By the Whiskers or something like that. It's a new anime on Netflix, and it's basically about this girl who has a crush on someone, and it kind of starts a little bit further into the story, and then there's kind of flashbacks. And so what happens is she basically talks to like this cat god spirit thing and gets a mask that turns her into a cat. And so when she turns into a cat, she can spy on this crush of hers, and this boy that she really likes this cat a whole lot. And so she gets to kind of see his life and kind of see his struggles and things like that. There's a couple lines that she crosses where she can't really separate the cat life from her human life, and the whole climax of it is just like she's like, I don't want to, and they even say it in like the Netflix description. They're like, she's like, I just don't want to be human anymore, like my human life sucks, you know. And then there's a lot of like dramatic things, like there's getting used to like having like a stepmom, and like there's actually a part where they like start like slapping each other, and it's like, whoa, there's no fights in this movie, like what? It's so random. Obviously, like there's her crush, the person that she's kind of secretly stalking as this boy's cat. The boy really likes and says like, oh, I love you, and then the girl character, she's just like, oh, he loves me, like telling her friends about it, and her friends are like, what? Like, you're stupid, he doesn't even talk to you. As a human, she's very annoying. But like as a cat, she's like, oh, she's like a cat, you know.
She's just cats are already annoying. So.
Words of a dog person. Huh?
I mean, we all know that one kid that tried to like, I'm an animal. I'm like Pikachu. I'm like something, you know, on the playground. She's very much this. I think it's like
the same Naruto runners across the campus.
Yeah,
that was me. Shut up.
Actually,
me too.
Some of them were not the same as the Naruto runners, and I have a story about that, which I'll say after the podcast.
Oh my!
But
I would definitely count that as a slice of life.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, each shows will always have different elements to them. It has a little bit of supernatural in it with the cat god and the transforming mask, but absolutely. I think comedy is a big one that's influenced me. Slice of life shows have really good comedy to them, like off-kilter characters or one-off lines.
Can you give an example?
Dude, Tanaka-kun is listless. That one, I watched that show. I was like, what's this about? It's literally about a dude that just has zero effort, zero want to do anything. It's the Seinfeld of animes, because it has no point to it, but you're just so invested in this character and his ability to just sit there and be like, I want to take a nap. And then everything happens around him, but he's the main character.
I think he's more about the focal point of the show. Yes, you're fixated on what this character is, but like you're kind of want to pay attention to the background a lot more in that show.
Yeah.
he takes the back seat as the main character, weirdly.
Interesting.
So, Justin, would you say that watching that movie has broadened your spectrum of anime? Like, would you get into more slice of life-esque?
Oh, definitely. I just think that I don't know. I kind of compare them to like, say, like a TV drama. There's like anime, TV drama. They have like a lot of relationship stuff that they do. Some of it's random. It might be rom-com. I'm actually really big into rom-coms, like New Girl and stuff like that.
Nick's the best.
Yeah. Thank you. Seriously. And Schmidt. I like when they go back to Schmidt. But anyway, that's a different podcast, right? Yes. But yeah, I think that's definitely one of them. I know there's like different movies that I can't remember all the names of because there's just so many different movies where
there's a lot.
Yeah, that like like there's a lot of, it's not just like, oh, like I'm charging up for this crazy fight scene. It's like there's actual depth and actual feeling from it. One scene that I really like, and I was just so obsessed with it, like I had to rewatch it 10 times. It was in My Hero Academia, just the whole sequence of him fighting All for One, and then you have, not only is that a crazy fight scene, but it goes to the perspective of the people. Everyone in that square is just, what is going on? Their eyes are like onto the screen, their jaws drop, they're speechless. This is like this symbol of their hope, the symbol of like that like just keeps their society going and like gives them hope, and they're just like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? They've never seen him in this weakest form. So you see All Might as a human finally, but then you see everyone else, it's just like there's like a string about to be cut, by like All for One, and they're like, what the heck is going on? And then then you have like the people that are aspiring to be heroes watching this, and then that's where you bring in like Deku and Deku is Hizuku and Bakugo, and then they're just like they're rivals, but they're both looking up to All Might, and then they have like where they're like, no, don't stop, get up, and they scream All Might together, and it's just like I was literally like tears were running down my face. I was like like the whole time I was watching this, because I was so blown away, because it's just like that's their everything. That's like it's not just like, oh, it's going to be the loss of a character, and it's like, oh, so sad, he's missing. This is literally everything that their society, that their culture revolves around. But you can see specifically between Bakugo and Midoriya that it's like this is like their main person, this is their mentor. And obviously like you can't have a power up fighting anime without like someone that mentors just this startup prodigy of a anime character. Yeah, there's always that, but then this aspect, it takes it deeper, that this is like something that makes a way deeper connection with them, that who they feel they are as heroes. They're like, they have to live up to him. So like, no, don't stop now. Like everyone's counting on you. And so I watched it over and over, and I still cried, and like even like where the flame like eventually goes out, and he's like, I'm retired now. All for One is done. And it's just like, even after that, where you're just like not really numb with emotion, but you're still kind of riding that like, oh, okay, we're trying to lighten up, but I'm still like, my heart is still in my stomach. And then that's when he is doing like the news thing, and he's like, it's your turn next. And society is like, whoa, yeah, we're next. Yeah. Like, this is cool because we're superheroes too, and it's being inspiring. And then Deku's just like, like does that thing to himself.
So as you were talking, I saw Zack and Mason just have physical reactions.
I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't thinking about that moment when he did the United States of Smash and threw all of his power into one arm and looked like the man that spent too much time in front of his computer.
Goodbye, All for One.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was I think that scene, and then you're caught up, right, with My Hero?
Yes.
Okay. The Million and his fight versus Chisaki, and his powers don't make the hero, the person makes the hero. I think that was a huge moment in that show. Talking about like stepping up and going, their phrase is what, plus ultra, go beyond. And I think they do a really good job of re-exemplifying those themes through their characters. That you have this fun, quirky dude that you wouldn't expect to be the number one hero to come out of school. And you see why. You see what he's willing to put on the line. Even what would make him a hero, he's going to put that on the line to save one person.
So ultimately, after branching out to these all these different genres, can we all agree that under the title of anime, that it is so nuanced, and it is, can we all agree that this is a type of art?
100%. Like, I don't think we ever questioned
from the start.
That.
Yeah.
I think you go back to the first shows I can think of that I watched, Bebop, Trigun, shows in the 90s, right? And they're very, very simplistic animation movements. And then you go to 2020, right?
Yeah.
God of High School.
Yeah.
The choreography and all of those fights were so fluid and natural, and how are they animated like that, right? And I think that just in the evolution of anime and its art styles. The water of Free, the fighting of Demon Slayer and the fire of Demon Slayer, right? It was, the movements of the maneuver gear in Attack on Titan. The expansion of animation techniques is an art form in and of itself.
Yeah, because like I'll say it once, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Like the way that like Free has done water has actually revolutionized every medium in the world. I don't care. It's like the way that they do water is like if you look at like any show today that uses water, they now use the techniques and the engine that they created to use Free. And like there are shows like in America, like there are fucking like cartoons in America that use that. There are some live action things on the CW that have used like the water engine, like in like they have like a TV show in the background, they like drew something up real quick, they use the water engine. Like the influence of that has astronomical effects throughout the world and everything. Like there's also like so many different shows, like Zack was saying, like there's Cowboy Bebop and all that stuff. There's even a show about a dude living alone with his cat that has made our friends bawl furiously, and that it just made me think of that movie that you were talking about. Like, so like it's just like the median of anime I don't think gets enough credit, because people are like, oh, it's not like acted, it's not like people aren't doing it. Like, yeah, because they can't always have like these scenarios. Like how often is like a dude punching in a giant mech robot punching a moon and then using different galaxies as shurikens, like a fucking thing. Like you're never going to have that live action.
Gurren Lagann?
Correct.
Okay.
But having these shows as like animated, like, so like the only thing that limits them is like the person's imagination and their drawing or their computer. Like if you even look at how the first Marvel movie, so Howard the Duck versus Endgame, where most of that was a lot of CGI, then Howard the Duck was not CGI and very bad. And they even like have Howard the Duck in like some of the background scenes as Easter eggs. Like you could see like the technology has changed, so therefore our medians have changed. So like it's irresponsible for us to not view different medians differently. So like fucking when TV killed the radio star, people were like, nothing will ever be better than radio, because I can visualize Superman flying with the radio show on BBC4. I think not BBC, ABC4.
Then TV came out. Oh my god, I could see him flying.
Yeah, and then they brought in Technicolor, and then they brought in feature-length movies and like silent films and like all these different things. I realized I went backwards a little bit with silent films, but
it's okay. Yeah. I think that was very well said, and I think that is a great thing to end on because we are running out of time. I would like to thank the listeners for listening to today's episode of the Anime Enthusiast Podcast. I am Brennan.
I'm Zach.
Mason. And I'm Justin.
We'll catch you next time.